Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Tahia. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Matthew. Thank all of you excellent presenters today. You've offered insights and wisdom and perspective and support and knowledge and wisdom to this whole process so constructively and so in such a finely distilled form that that distillation, that refinement, that evolution of your capacities is truly helpful to everyone that's online. And this is being recorded. Your words, your contributions will continue to help in the world. And all of you folks here online that have been part of this conversation, your insights and your wisdom, your understanding, your care is going to continue to reverberate, is going to continue to help heal the world and guide the world to whatever capacities we arrive at in regard to solving the climate crisis and the poly crisis. The four presenters today all presented brilliantly from their perspectives, their capacities, their experience, their expertise, their heart resonance, their soul process. And every one of them is an absolutely necessary and key core part of the puzzle to solving the climate crisis. We can't do without any of the voices in our world. We can't do without any of the souls in our world. We can't do without any, especially in these times, without any co-creative contribution and benefit that everyone has to offer. The perspectives of understanding about human trafficking that one can derive from Matthew's presentation, of course, are brilliant, insightful, empowering, and offering the capacity on all of our parts to do something, even if it's writing a letter to your congressperson, or even if it's writing an email to somebody with this information, so that the world can understand better what situations, dire situations, that people are going through in large numbers in our world today. The information from Tahia of her will, brilliant information, women's empowerment. Women are half the population of the world. It is not a nice to have. It's not a wished for thing. It's an absolutely vital necessity that we empower women, educate them, give them opportunities, ensure that they become part of the fabric of decision-making and leadership in every level of every society, every organization, for-profit, nonprofit, governmental, educational, research, technological, all of those areas of the world will only benefit from the inclusion and the empowerment of women. That tends to start through education of many different types, certainly formal education, familial conditioning, societal conditioning, and offering a support system to women in our world, young people, disadvantaged populations of all kinds, is something that we're hoping to achieve, or to our contribution to the world at this time as an organization, World System Solutions, a collaboration platform we call the Phoenix platform. And that said, the synthesis, the integration of all of these perspectives, all of these excellent educational offerings that the folks that we're presenting today have brought to us, the integration of that will help the world create whole solutions. Being, as Jenny has said, being present in one's own body, experiencing one's own feelings, thoughts, energy dynamics, emotional dynamics, relational perspectives is mission critical to being able to make wise, caring, conscious, discerning, compassionate, and empathetic choices. Empathetically informed, compassionately informed, relationally informed, emotionally informed, consciously informed, and also informed by attainment of wisdom through various modes and methods, education, mentoring, existing and future support systems that everybody can help contribute to, design, architect, build out, and benefit from. again, we see this as the future for humanity. Collaboration, conscious care, conscious love, conscious service for the good of every other species on the planet, for the planet itself, and for a billion children that are, according to UNICEF at this time, under severe climate change risk and threat. Those children are likely to be the ones that are going to be hurt most by the symptomology of the climate crisis, or what could be referred to as the larger polycrisis in our world. So it's vitally important that we do anything and everything that we can to ensure their well-being. According to various scientists, there could be 1 million other species that are rendered extinct by human life process, decisions, actions, technology, application of fossil fuels, or highly technologized ways of fishing, for example, in the oceans, or clear-cutting forests to make room for grazing cattle that then can be the lungs of the planet to collect carbon. There are so many dimensions to the polycrisis. There are so many necessary understandings that must be learned, of course, and as Jenny is saying, fully embodied into understanding, into conscious wisdom, into arrived at collective collaborative capacity. And that process involves learning of some very technological understandings, STEAM understandings or STEM understandings, AI, artificial intelligence. We're not advocates of artificial intelligence as an organization. We do understand that it has as many potential downsides and flaws as it has positives and potential contributions to the world. Like any tool, it will determine its effect in our lives, in our future, and the lives of future children and other species will be defined by the wisdom with which we apply it. If we are not wise in our own process as individuals and collectives, and if we're not coherently aligned with one another in service to humanity, in service to the natural world, in service to future generations, if we don't find a way to collectively align, organize, mobilize, empower, educate, and apply our co-creative capacities in a very collaborative way, then we won't have the potential power as a collective species and nations, cultures and peoples and genders to bring about the requisite global necessary transformational change. This can't be a sporadic hit or miss scattershot approach. It needs to be a cohesive, coherent, aligned, integrated, synthesized approach that's transdisciplinary in nature. Every area of expertise must be involved and engaged and applied consistently, efficiently, and effectively, because we have fewer resources today to solve the polycrisis. And it's accelerating now because of our tendencies as a species to consume wantonly, to be willing to devalue other species as less important than ourselves. If we could shift our values collectively, coherently, in resonance with one another, to create superordinate goals and values of sustainability, full reharmonization with the planet, and renewal, as well as resilience and adaptability. If these superordinate goals and values were uppermost in everyone's minds and hearts and bodies, in their energy, every thought, every decision, every interpretation, every action that we take in the world, individually, relationally, and collectively, if those values are in a pure form, exhibited within our systems, fully grounded in practical, realized, boots on the ground, concrete ways that truly bring about necessary requisite change, transformational change, then we can succeed together. Then there will be a future for everyone. Everyone will have what they need. Everyone will be cared about as equals. Everyone will be included and empowered and get to live in fulfilling lives, have good families, happy families, and children, And we will go on as a species, and other species will go on together. So as a general statement, conscious transformational leadership and collaboration is mission critical, is the solution, the antidote to our problems. Traditional leadership is not going to do it. Traditional types of teamwork that are competition oriented, competition driven, money driven, greed driven, self-centered, simply ignorant of the impact of our choices on the world. That style and quality of leadership is not adequate. Leaders have not been taught how to lead in the times of the polycrisis or the climate crisis. They don't understand all of the different aspects of it. They don't understand how to evolve, educate, and empower their constituencies in order to effect necessary near-term global orchestrated change. We're still not realizing we are one. Every person, every sentient being on this planet are one consciousness, one process, one life process that's operating in a myriad of visible ways and experienced ways. If we recognize that, if we can recognize beyond all values our oneness, the truth of our oneness, consciously, discerningly, wisely, intelligently, in very highly educated ways, then we will apply our creativity not to creating weapons of mass destruction, not to the military-industrial complex, not to competition, not to placing our well-being as nations, peoples, genders, age groups above the well-being of others. We will operate in harmony with one another. Loving harmony, coherent, efficient, effective, loving harmony, which we would refer to generically as murmuration. The way a flock of birds moves through the air, the way a school of fish moves as a harmonious group in the ocean. So we recognize that this is absolutely necessary. This is an attainment of collective capacity to be able to murmurate together, to be able to cohesively and coherently and consciously collaborate in every dimension of life. The optimization of that skill set, that is educable, that capacity, which can be trained, mentored, communicated, modeled, exemplified, presented, and embodied by every human being on the planet. That will create a future for all of us, and a future for the world. So we appreciate truly everything that you are, everything that's been presented by all the presenters. And we would just suggest to the presenters, if you hear this recording, how can you work together and bring your brilliance, your excellence, your creativity, your experience into, like puzzle pieces fitting together, into a larger panorama of service offering. It's an invitation, it's a hope, it's a request for such a contemplation. And how can everyone online here connect beyond this conversation and collaborate and work together and align and organize efficiently and effectively, and thus have greater power and effect and impact on the polycrisis, the climate crisis, and generate a beautiful world that's good for everybody. Those are our hopes, and we thank you so much for your time, your care, your consideration, your patience, and your loving intentions. Thank you.